The alarms were a banshee's wail tearing through Elias Thorne's sleep. He bolted upright, the bunk a vibrating coffin, as the Star Wanderer groaned under an unseen assault. Red lights pulsed, painting the cramped quarters in a hellish glow. Emergency klaxons intensified, announcing the ship's imminent demise. He scrambled into his jumpsuit, the synthetic fabric clinging to his sweat-slicked skin. Breach in sectors 4 through 7. Hull integrity compromised. Evacuate immediately, the automated voice shrieked, its tone devoid of any human comfort. They were space dust. He barely made it to the escape pod bay before the Wanderers lurched violently, throwing him against a bulkhead. A shower of sparks rained down as wires snapped and shorted out. He managed to activate the launch sequence just as the entire corridor seemed to buckle inwards. The pod ejected with a bone-jarring shudder, flinging him into the inky blackness. Consciousness flickered in and out as the pod plummeted through the atmosphere of an unknown planet. He vaguely remembered the emergency landing sequence, the jarring impact, and then nothing. The pod was embedded in dense vegetation, the viewport cracked but intact. Gingerly, he unbuckled himself and pushed open the hatch. The air was thick, humid, and carried the scent of exotic blooms and something metallic. He stepped out into a world unlike anything he'd ever seen. Towering trees with bioluminescent leaves cast an ethereal glow, illuminating the alien landscape. Strange, orchid-like plants carpeted the forest floor, pulsating with a soft, internal light. The sky was a swirling canvas of violet and crimson, dominated by 2 moons. He was alone, stranded on an alien world. He named it Xylos. Days bled into weeks. Elias salvaged what he could from the escape pod, a survival kit, a damaged comm unit, and a multi-tool. He learned to hunt the skittering, 6-legged creatures that inhabited the undergrowth, their flesh surprisingly palatable. He found a source of fresh water, a cascading waterfall that plunged into a crystal-clear pool. He learned to distinguish the edible plants from the poisonous ones, relying on trial and error, and often suffering for it. One evening, while scouting for resources, he stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood a massive structure, a pyramid made of obsidian-like stone, its surface covered in intricate carvings. It pulsed with the same bioluminescent energy as the plants, a silent hum resonating in the air around it. He felt drawn to it, an irresistible pull that defied logic. As he approached, the ground began to tremble. The carvings on the pyramid glowed brighter, and a beam of light shot into the sky, piercing the violet and crimson clouds. He wasn't alone. From the shadows of the trees emerged creatures that defied description. They were bipedal, but their bodies were covered in chitinous armor, their limbs ending in razor-sharp claws. Their heads were elongated, with glowing red eyes that burned with intelligence and malice. They were the krill, apex predators of Xylos, and they were clearly not happy to see him. Elias barely had time to react before they attacked. He managed to fend them off with his multi-tool, but he was outnumbered and outmatched. They were humanoid, but taller and leaner than humans, with skin the color of jade and large almond-shaped eyes. They wore ornate armor made of woven plant fibers and carried themselves with an air of quiet confidence. They engaged the krill, their energy weapons cutting through the chitinous armor with ease. The krill, despite their ferocity, were quickly overwhelmed. When the fighting was over, the jade-skinned warriors turned their attention to Elias. One of them, a woman with intricate tattoos on her face, approached him cautiously. She gestured for him to follow, and he, with little other choice, obeyed. He was taken to a hidden village nestled deep within the forest, a place of incredible beauty and harmony. The structures were built from living plants, woven together to form homes and temples. The air was filled with the sound of music and laughter. He learned that these people called themselves the Arav, and they were the guardians of Xylos. They communicated telepathically, and after a few days, Elias began to understand their thoughts and emotions. The Arav revealed the truth about the pyramid. It was a sacred artifact, a source of immense power and a key to their survival. But it was also a beacon, attracting the krill, who sought to control its power for their own destructive purposes. The prophecy spoke of a starborn, a being from another world, who would arrive on Xylos and either save them or doom them all. Elias realized with a chilling certainty that he was the Starborn. The Krill, enraged by the Erebors' resistance, launched a full-scale assault on their village. Elias, despite his lack of combat experience, fought alongside them, his human ingenuity proving surprisingly effective. He used his multi-tool to create makeshift weapons and traps, turning the forest itself into a battlefield. He found himself fighting not just for his own survival, but for the survival of the Arav and the preservation of Xylos. During the battle, Elias discovered a hidden talent. He could manipulate the bioluminescent energy of the plants, using it to create shields, weapons, and even to heal the wounded. He was no longer just a shipwreck survivor. He was the Starborn, the savior of Xylos. The Krill, led by a massive armored behemoth, finally broke through the Arav's defenses and reached the pyramid. The behemoth attempted to seize control of the pyramid's power, but Elias intervened, channeling the energy of the pyramid into a single, devastating blast. The behemoth was vaporized, and the Krill, their leader gone, retreated into the shadows. With the Krill defeated, the Arav celebrated their victory. They would not give up their quest for the pyramid's power. He decided to stay on Xylos, to continue to protect the Arav, and to safeguard the planet. He was no longer just trying to survive. He was building a new life, forging a new destiny. Years passed, Elias learned to master his powers, becoming a powerful protector of Xylos. He helped the Arav rebuild their village and strengthen their defenses. He even managed to repair the damaged comm unit, sending a signal into the vastness of space. One day, a ship arrived, answering his call. He had a choice to make: return to Earth, to his old life, or stay on Xylos, to continue to protect his new home. He looked at the faces of the Arav, their eyes filled with hope and gratitude. He knew what he had to do. He told the rescue ship to leave, promising to contact them again when Xylos was truly safe. He turned his back on his old life, embracing his destiny as the Starborn. He was no longer just Elias Thorne, shipwreck survivor. He was Elias Thorne, guardian of Xylos, protector of the Arav, and a symbol of hope in a galaxy filled with darkness. But the Krill were not truly defeated. They were merely regrouping, biding their time, waiting for the moment to strike again. A new threat emerged, a shadowy figure known only as the Obsidian Lord, who sought to corrupt the power of the pyramid and plunge Xylos into eternal darkness. Elias knew that the greatest challenge was yet to come. He would need all his strength, all his courage, and all his newfound powers to protect Xylos from the Obsidian Lord and his legions of darkness. His journey had just begun. The Obsidian Lord was not some external entity but a corrupted Arav elder, driven mad by a thirst for power and a fear of the prophecy. He sought to control the Starborn, to twist Elias's abilities to his own dark ends. The final confrontation took place within the pyramid itself, a battle of light and shadow that threatened to tear Xylos apart. Elias, drawing on the love and trust of the Arav, faced the Obsidian Lord not with hatred but with compassion. He showed him the beauty of Xylos, the interconnectedness of all living things, and the folly of his desire for absolute control. Xylos was saved, not through violence but through understanding and empathy. Elias Thorne, the accidental Starborn, had not only fulfilled the prophecy but had redefined it, proving that even the darkest of hearts could be redeemed. The future of Xylos was bright, a testament to the power of hope and the enduring strength of the human spirit. His time on Xylos would continue, not as a savior but as a guide, helping the Arav build a future of peace and prosperity, forever bound to the planet and its people.